Hey everybody, welcome to EUH 4465 Hitler and Nazi Germany. I'm Dr. Shane Stufflet. I'm going to be your instructor for this course. I wanted everybody to get an opportunity to see who's behind the computer, grading all of your stuff, making all the assignments, and to tell you a little bit about myself before the course started. I've been teaching here at UCF now for about 17 years, and for about 12 or 13 of those years I've taught this class along with classes on 19th century Europe. I teach the World War II class, and I saw on my list that, or my role, that I may have had some of you for Western Civ 2 as well. I do both of the Western Civ surveys. Let's go through the structure of the class, because on the very first night, typically when we would meet, I would go through all this stuff. And I want you to hear it so that you can hear what is especially important, right? So the structure of this class is going to be the same essentially every week. For each module, you're going to have to do your readings, which are listed in the course schedule. You can take notes on the readings. You can use your book and have it in front of you when you take the quiz, but I encourage you to take notes on the readings. You'll then look at the PowerPoint, and for most of the units, you're going to have a little video that I'm going to post of myself going through the most important parts of the PowerPoint. I promise I'll keep each of those videos to be 15 minutes or less. So don't expect, or think that if you are pulling up a video of me, you're going to get, the 2.5 hours of lecture or discussion that we would have had otherwise. It's going to be 15 minutes just going over the most important things from that particular unit that I really feel I need to emphasize. So that's the basics right there. You're going to do your readings. You're going to take notes on those readings. You're going to look at your PowerPoint, and you're going to listen to my video of the PowerPoint. And there may, for particular units, be some additional things that I want you to do that I will tell you, as we're going through this semester. Once you feel prepared, then you can pull up the quiz for that particular module and take that quiz. You can't take the quiz any later than 11:59 p.m. On the Sunday night of that particular unit. You can take it anytime beforehand. I typically will have the units open, a week beforehand, so you can do these things when it's most convenient for you. But beware that these quizzes are timed. Once you go answer a question, you will not be able to go back to that question. So you really have to be prepared when you sit down to take the quiz. Don't learn that the hard way. Make sure that for the quiz for Module 1, you're prepared when you sit down for that quiz. All right, so every unit is going to be structured essentially like that. The average of each of those quizzes is 50% of your grade. The average of all those quizzes will be 50%. The other 50% of your grade will be comprised of 2 reaction papers at 15% each. You will see those on the course schedule. One of those is essentially right about the time of a midterm, but we're not going to have a midterm. You're going to do this reaction paper instead. You're going to write it, you're going to submit it, you will see, and then you're going to do a discussion post. And then there's another one later on in the semester. Each one of those, 15%. They're on articles that I will post later in the semester, and they typically are on articles that kind of relate Nazi Germany or fascism or Nazism to the modern day. So that's 30%. Now we're up to 80%, and then the last 20% is you have to read the Mouse book, and you have to take a short quiz on the Mouse book. It'll be a written quiz, you will see. It's essentially 4 or 5 questions. They're short answers. You write a couple short paragraph for each of those answers, or those questions, I should say. You submit those, and then you'll do a quick discussion post with regards to Mouse. And those things right there will comprise the last 20% of your grade. All right, so 50% average of the quizzes, 30% from the 2 reaction papers, and 20% from the Mouse assignment, which includes a short writing thing you'll see, and the discussion post. There's no opportunity for extra credit in the class, but I think as you kind of get used to the first couple modules, you'll understand exactly what you have to do to be well prepared. I will say this, that typically when I teach this class on campus, which I've done every year for 17 years or so many years that I've told you, I will curve the quiz average. So let's say all of you take the first quiz, and the overall average for that first quiz is a 72. then you can expect to get approximately an 8% curve on that quiz, because I like the quiz average to be at about an 80. So I will let you know, and you will see going into the grade book on web courses what your final grade is eventually. If it's a hard quiz and I see that the entire class, the average was low, then you can expect to get a boost through a curve. If the average is above an 80, then there's going to be no curve. And I'll let you know each week what the curve was for that particular quiz. Okay, so that's it. That's the overall structure of the class. That's how we will run things on a weekly basis. What should you do right now? Right when you get done watching this video, immediately sign up for Remind. You see the directions for that on the course homepage here, right below this video. I think you have to text at Hitler ST, something like that, to the number 81010. This will allow you and me to text directly, and then as a result you can get a hold of me much more quickly instead of having to send an email or send a message via web courses. If you're working on a Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on my class and you have a question, all you gotta do is pick up your phone, text, and I will probably have an answer back to you within a minute or two. If I don't, it's because I'm asleep, it's because I'm outside cutting the grass, something like that. Okay, so I'm never deliberately ignoring you. Just give me some time and I'll always get back to you as quick as I can. That's the first thing, sign up for Remind. And then the second thing, after you sign up for Remind, immediately, right now, take the syllabus quiz, which is under Module 0, so that you can get that grade in for financial aid purposes. It's not a grade for your grade, but we have to have something in there, as many of you know, for financial aid purposes and academic activity. That will take care of that. Especially important if you're waiting on financial aid. And then after you do the syllabus quiz, do the pre-test, which is a short 8-question quiz. It does not count. It's kind of a fun introduction to Nazi Germany. It's got some important information in there and some not so important information that's just kind of interesting. All right, so do those things right now. Get them done. Sign up for Remind, take the syllabus quiz, and do the pre-test. If you have any questions, once you're on Remind, you have access to me. You can shoot me a text, say who you are. It'll come up on Remind anyways, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And you will see me, of course, on videos throughout the semester, embedded into the various modules. You'll see one pretty quickly in Module 1 when I give a short little presentation on the first PowerPoint. And again, I'll make sure that those video presentations are no longer than 15 minutes. All right, let me know if you have any problems, and have a good semester.